just in, a picture into our newsroom of the explosion we've been telling you about in Evendale. Fire crews are on the scene right now. This is the 1000 block of Medallion Drive, where the elevator grain explosion happened. Now you are looking live at the scene.
Happened in seconds. A series of explosions ripped through an Evendale grain elevator. Surveillance video shows that blast shredding windows and sending debris flying. This is video you'll see only on 9 on your side.
You can see there's significant damage. Most of the windows are gone and most of the doors have been blown out, which they're supposed to do.
Interstate 75. It's a highway along the west end of Cincinnati that leads to many towns and cities spread throughout, one of them having an abandoned 200-foot tower that can be seen from any direction heading north or south. Welcome to Sharonville, Ohio, a small town located 17 miles outside Cincinnati, where it's been well known for the large amounts of industry spread throughout the town. One of these has been abandoned since 2014, where an accident occurred and has left the tower in a shell of its former self. This is the Bunge Limited Grain Elevator. It was used as a way of storing grain that was then sent to the farms all outside the city to the livestock. On August 22, 2014, the day started out like any other for the workers of this grain elevator until the accumulation of dust and grain became too much for the building to handle, so this created an explosion that would rock and rattle the area.
Thousands of combines roll across hundreds of thousands of acres, harvesting millions of bushels of grain. In 2018, the state's farmers harvested enough corn and soybeans to fill more than 1,100 Olympic-sized swimming pools. But that grain can't all be used at once. So where does it go? The bulk of it heads to storage facilities called grain elevators.
At processing facilities such as ethanol plants, feed mills, or rice mills, trains, also known as shuttle loaders, deliver already graded and inspected grain. Grates on the bottom of a hopper car open and the grain drops onto either a chain conveyor or belt conveyor system. The bypass inlet controls the amount of grain hitting the conveyors, thus managing grain flow. As the grain flows through the system, the conveyor picks up the grain from the first bypass inlet and moves it forward on the conveyor. Grain is then discharged onto and eventually moves upwards via the receiving bucket elevator.
Working in a grain mill or grain elevator of some sort can be very, very dangerous. And I'm going to show you guys a little experiment to show you just how dangerous it can actually be. And this is kind of like a recreation of what can actually happen in your grain mills or your grain elevators where you're processing a lot of grain products. So what happens is, and what has happened in the past, is you're working in a grain elevator. Let's say it's winter, the doors are all closed, very, very dusty, and you have an electrical shortage somewhere in the building.
The explosion set off a noise so loud it could be heard throughout Sharonville. The windows and equipment would give way and become damaged by the fiery blaze that engulfed the inside. Smoke could be seen from all sides of the building, and black soot can be seen collecting from around the area. 3 people who worked at the facility were injured, but everyone escaped the facility. The brave first responders put out the blaze, and everything subsided, or so they thought. The building went up in flames a second day, and they were called to the site again to put out the flames. Bunge Limited decided in 2015 to sell off the property to another company, but nothing was done, so it was left to the elements and decay.